Great. So this is Leadership in Digital Learning, a Personal Development Plan. Now, this is for CI 5630, Instructional Technology, and it is by me, Rami Naivar, at Appalachian State University. So, leadership in digital learning, what does that mean? Well, it is said to be where teachers will demonstrate leadership in accelerating their integration of digital teaching and learning pedagogies. To me, that means that teachers will be leaders in knowing how to use technology in this 21st century world. So it's being up to date with all the technology that a teacher can use to help integrate into their classroom and to help their students learn material better. So the first competency that comes with that standard that I just discussed is that engaging in virtual and face-to-face learning communities to expand mastery of technological applications for professional growth and student learning. To me, that means what type of communities can I join as a teacher to help improve my understanding of technology and how to use it in the classroom. So learning communities that I can join are formal and self-directed. With the formal ones, it comes with communities of practice, or COP, and I've listed two that I felt were really helpful, and I'll briefly go over them here. So the first one is the Intel Education, and I just really like their kind of description for professional development and their little synopsis here at the top, because it really demonstrates what this site will help me with. So it says, created by educators for educators, our resources are designed to help passionate teachers integrate technology effectively into your curriculum to engage students and help them reach their full potential. So that's exactly what I was pretty much describing when I was discussing that first competency. And with professional development, it just means that it gives me a lot of opportunities to enhance my knowledge and skills with technology. So there's Intel Teach courses that help me understand different principles of technology, and then there's learning courses that go along with that. And these are just like digital learning, learning with one-on-one, personalized learning. It's just ways of how to get in touch with my students better using media, technology, access to the internet, stuff like that. And it just gives me a lot of other things as well. It gives me lesson plans, unit plans of all age groups, and then it gives me a ton of resources that I find super helpful, like personalized learning, because each student is unique and they all deserve a chance to learn the best they can in the way they best learn. And it just gives me some other resources that I can use when trying to engage students and transform my classroom for the next generation. So with that, the next little communities of practice is the State Education Policy Center, which just provides me, if I click on it, I can show you actually, with a bunch of different things as well. Similar to the Intel site, it just gives me a lot of resources and content on digital media and digital resources. So navigation of digital shift, which just means how to incorporate the ever-changing technology that we come across into the classroom, and then just some other cool things like policies on digital ways of teaching and so forth. So I think this is a really great site to get involved with as well, just because it has so many great applications that I can read over and get in touch with for the classroom. And then self-directed, these are personalized learning networks. These are just websites created by teachers for teachers, much like the communities of practice, but in this case, it's more driven by the teacher itself, so they are the ones that are kind of putting this together, and I can show you an example. So with the Powerful Learning Practice, this gives us a little synopsis here. It says the connected learner experience. So it's customized, it's job embedded, there's coaching available, and it ranges from the school to districts and the state. And then it provides us online courses that we can take to help improve our understanding of everything, and then consulting and speaking, which I think is really important for conferences online, because now you're getting that personal touch that some websites just don't provide you. And then there's just some information about how well this program works. So that's just an example. I personally really like Wasabi because it's similar to pretty much a course management system, and it just it's a little bit more in-depth in the sense that it provides teachers with some more helpful hints than just customizing a website for your students to use. I can show you a little example again. In this case, once it loads, okay, here we go. I just like going to how Wasabi works. That gives a great example. And it's just, Wasabi takes the complexity out of planning, assessing, and reporting. It makes where you are at with the curriculum and where you need to go next crystal clear, so that you can focus on what matters most, learning. And then as you can see here, it just gives a breakdown, much similar to Canvas, of how the classroom would be set up. And it just makes it easier for students and yourself to teach. So I really like that one. And then Teaching Channel is also really, really great. This gives a lot of videos and topics and a community frame for teachers to figure out what they want to do, get advice, how to improve their class, kind of the same old thing with the other sites that I've just shown you. Now, the second competency is to take initiative with my own professional growth to inform practice. I took this as meaning, what can I do to make myself a better teacher? What classes can I take? What research can I look up? What can I do as a teacher to make the classroom a more inviting, friendly place for students to come and learn? So professional growth, I took this as participating and engaging in workshops, webinars, and podcasts. And I know this is just 2 examples per, there's plenty more options that I could have gone over, but I found that these were the kind of what fits my learning outlook and what kind of fits how I want to teach to go with. So Connectivity 2019 is a conference that I could attend, which has multiple workshops within the conference, and it's based off of art and STEM, and I think that's really important because the arts aren't really incorporated that much into school anymore. There's very limited use of it, and then STEM itself is very, not hard, but it's thought to be hard, and I like that they can combine them and to make it a much more fun place and fun integration of different topics. And then 21st Century Skills is just a website that provides loads of workshops based off the area you're in. So it's not just North Carolina, but you can go to any state on the website, and then it provides about 30, 40 different workshops that you can attend throughout the year that can help improve many different topics as well. So of course I'd go more towards the STEM ones, the technology ones, but then there's also history, English, there's psychology, all these different types that you can find on this website. Webinar wise, these are just ones on digital literacy or reading diversity, because the topic of this class is integration of technology. But there was loads of different webinars that I could go to. I'll click on this first one just to give you an example. I love the Teaching Tolerance website. It has a lot that will help in this day and age, and with this one it's kind of just a little synopsis, and then you can watch the webinar based off of teaching digital literacy, which is really important for students in this era. Cool. And then the last thing is podcasts, and these range in how long they are to listen to, but I like the 10-minute teacher, which I'll click on to show you as well, where it's just 10 minutes of communication by a teacher giving examples of what they deal with during the day, some of the things that they see and they want feedback with from other teachers. I really enjoy this because it's a little breakdown from the day, and it kind of brings the community of teachers together because we're all having similar experiences, and it's nice to just have someone vocalize them. So it happens 5 days a week, and it just inspires teachers who inspire children to learn and grow, like it says here. And it's really nice. There's tons and tons of different topics that they go through. Here's a little list of what they can be. And I like the 7 hot ed tech topics. That's a really great one. I listened to that a few days ago, and I really thought that was helpful uh, based off of what this class is for and what I should be doing as a teacher. So with that, there is the third competency, demonstrate leadership for technology innovation beyond my own classroom. So what I took that as is, what can I do for my school, my district, and my county that can help improve our thoughts and policies on technology. So I have a few things here. I could lead a teacher seminar, so I could help other teachers integrate technology into their curriculum. And Teaching Tolerance, again, is a great website that I found that helps with that. It gives us materials that I could use to help teach the seminar. It provides worksheets, a slideshow, all of it. It's great, it's free. But brings awareness to the ever-changing world of technology that we live in and how we can help students keep up with that change and innovation. Then there's the develop a program or club at school. So this again is more the whole school than my own classroom. And then Knowing Technologies is the site that I used for that. And it says 7 steps to preparing a technological plan for an independent school. And then with that, I love this little graphic because I think that definitely encompasses what this is all about. It just goes into the steps of what to do and gives some great feedback along the way as I scroll through this. And then you can also request a free summer technology audit, which you can use to kind of break down everything into what your school does with technology and trying to improve it for the following year. So I really like this website. There's coaching and other services that it provides as well. And then last, draft a county-wide plan or objectives. And I found Education Foundation for this, and I think it's really helpful because it pretty much says, hey, what can you do to make your county more technological, more savvy in technology, and help students learn better because technology is part of their day-to-day life. And just give some great examples, you know. So I really like that. And they're not hard either. Like you digital learning labs, STEM fairs, summits where you teach students about STEM. Like these are easy things to do, and it'll get the whole community together. So I really like these. Now, with the fourth competency, engage in peer collaborative problem solving through continuous planning, designing, testing, evaluation, and recalibration of teaching methods using appropriate digital technology. I take this as me as a teacher collaborating with other teachers in my school or in the county or so on to help improve my own teaching methods. What can we as a group of teachers do to help each other out as educators? So peer collaboration, I said joint planning in pairs or small groups, but then within these groups, it has to be within the same course type and grade level. So the physics teachers should all get together and collaborate, or all the English teachers and so forth, and really think about lesson plans or how we can incorporate things between each other so that our students are all kind of going at the same pace. Then there's team teaching, which I thought was kind of cool, where you can have joint evaluations of planning, teaching, and learning achieved. So what that means is you're not the only one teaching, you have a co-teacher, and both of you teach the class together and kind of incorporate different ideas that you and your other teacher might have, and then evaluate each other, saying if we did something correctly or maybe we should improve something. And then peer coaching is just kind of a community setting where everyone gets together, help with lesson plans, materials, and then someone can come in, collect data of you doing these lessons and providing these materials and seeing how effective that teaching style was or that unit was that you have come together and made. So couple different options, but I think they're helpful because you're not alone in this. You have help. You're doing it together, you're getting reassurance, and it's just providing a sense of comfort that you're not alone and someone can help you if you're struggling. So I really like this one. And with the fifth competency, the last one, it says promote open lifelong learning as an iterative process of success, failure, grit, and perseverance. And I took this as, what can I do as a teacher to promote promote learning? This is kind of like an easy one, I think, because how can you inspire students? Everyone learns differently, so what can you do to promote it? So I came up with 5 different bullets and a couple little subheadings to go with it. So the first one was encourage learning ownership, and this just means to have students understand that this is their work. They are learning something, they should be proud of it. And in a result of taking ownership of your learning and you doing the work, you get a higher self-esteem. So the students have a higher self-esteem. They get a pride in achievement. So they get excited that they're doing something that's actually having results. And then there becomes this independence with students. So you no longer have to be on them 24/7 as an educator. You can kind of let them do it on their own because now they're taking ownership of that work. They're taking pride in it and they're going to do it, and you shouldn't have to tell them. And then the next one was turn mistakes into opportunities. So same thing with failing. It helps us grow mentally and emotionally. So with that, students are going to make mistakes. Teachers are going to make mistakes, and I feel it's important to show students that teachers aren't these perfect beings that are just know-it-alls. I think having students know that teachers make mistakes is helpful, and letting them know that it is a learning process. It's not just going to come naturally for some. And I like to say, like, the acronym for FAIL is first attempt at learning. Or first attempt in learning, and that's a great saying to have because failure just means that you have a second chance at doing it, and you learn from it a lot better than just getting it right off the bat. And then there's identify go-to learning tools. So everyone learns differently. That's just, everyone's unique. That's how it is. So being able to show students what helps them best learn is really important, and it gives them a thirst for learning and growing because of that, because you're showing them that, hey, Billy learns by flashcards, but Amy learns by reciting it over and over again. Different process, but the same goal is being achieved and learning that concept. So I really think that's important for all students to figure out and teachers to help students figure out. Then there's let students teach too. So I find this really important. The teacher shouldn't be the one always presenting the information. Have students participate in projects where they then teach the class a concept. It doesn't have to be a hard concept, it could be a very simple one, but it imparts valuable lessons of learning ownership and knowledge to those students. And peer teaching is actually really, it's been proven to help students learn better. So seeing one of their classmates know a topic really well helps the other student learn that material, and then vice versa. If you put a student in charge of a lesson, they're going to have to learn that lesson very well in order to teach it. So they in turn are learning it better. So it's kind of a win-win. Both students are learning, from the teacher-student to the student-student. And then the last one I have here is create fun interactive lesson plans. So it's associate learning with joys of discovery and personal growth here. So what that means is if you have fun things for them to do, they're going to remember that a lot more than just sitting in a class listening to a lecture. Don't get me wrong, lectures are great, but there needs to be an active component into that lecture. It can't just be taking notes, black and white, nothing else, you know? So I find that having fun lesson plans encourages students to want to learn and discover things for themselves because they're thinking, oh, this is fun. It's no longer boring or mundane. So yeah. And with that, what I got from this for a personal development plan, what can I do as a teacher? I found there's a couple different things. I think I should start attending more conferences and workshops based off of what I'm trying to communicate with my students. So STEM-based conferences, digital learning, all of these things, because if I know more, students will know more, because I'll have a more confident outlook on things, a more confident way of teaching, and those students will see that and feel like I know what I'm talking about. The next thing I saw and I thought was important for my own development plan as a teacher would be researching new and effective methods of digital learning and STEM. So with this, I need to be looking at research. I need to be going online, finding out what's working, what's not working, and trying to implement that. And I need to do that regularly because research comes out constantly about new and effective things going on. And same thing with the workshops. I should be attending them often. Maybe not every month, because sometimes that can get expensive and might not be free, but every couple months, maybe try yearly, if that makes sense. So every 3 months going to a conference, I think will really help me improve. And then the local ones, the workshops, that'll be easier to attend, and I can attend those in between the times I go to conferences. And then, like I said, research should be constantly, it should be every month. I should be looking up new and effective ways of teaching. And then the next bullet point I have is to create a peer teaching group for encouragement and lesson ideas. I really like the thought of having a bunch of teachers with the same attitude about educating coming together and working together really effective. And becoming a new teacher myself, I think it's important to have that moral support and that team behind me that will encourage me and keep me going, because teaching hundreds of students every year is kind of frightening and you don't want to mess up. But again, there's going to be those instances, and having those teachers that have already been here a couple years will help me know that I'm okay, and it's not a huge deal if you make a mistake, as long as you own up to it and correct it, you know? And then with the last one, use media and online tools to inspire and motivate student learning. So I need to be looking for these tools that will help improve my lessons. I can't just be by the book, use the textbook, and don't use anything else. I'm going to be a physics teacher. This is a very hands-on type of learning. It requires students to really think outside the box, so I should be doing the same for when they are learning something. So I should be going on websites, using simulations, and just trying to get them as hands-on interactive as possible for students. Now, this isn't all my personal development plans. These are just the main bullets. But I really think that with this competency, I have to be motivated to look at things that are coming to light with student learning and technology. These students are 21st century learners, which means they don't know anything but technology. They have it all the time, and they need to be able to learn to use it appropriately and correctly in school to help them learn and build up that curiosity to continue learning, instead of just mindlessly looking at it because it's more entertaining than the lesson at hand. So personally, for my development plan, I want to continue looking into these resources that help me become a better teacher, but also to help students become better learners. And that's pretty much what I have for this. Thank you for listening to me drone on about these competencies and the standard on digital learning, but I think I've really learned a lot from this, and I think that being able to say that is a big improvement than how I thought previously.